All right, Shalom Yashrala. Call Halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Waharaka Kodash Rakathum. I like to give double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the select number of Akyam, pushing this truth and sincerity in four corners of the round earth. And salutations to the select number of Aqua that they're listening. What I like to get into is you have this ceasefire that was pretty much wasn't honored by the U.S. and I guess Iran as well, because they're both pointing fingers at one another, right? They were supposed to be having these peace talks, right? But it's not gonna happen, man. Why? Because according to prophecy, man. Because this place isn't gonna continue on, and it just further proves, man. We're already in the midst of World War III. Okay, the plot is just getting thicker. Okay, this is First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. Verse 2. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Okay, so we know when Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, we just know that through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemiah Shah, man, it's gonna be like something never seen before, man. Okay. In other words, that's what that's what they're saying. Like we know, like people really think everything's gonna go back to pre jab era, man. It's not. Okay, so war is only gonna increase. Tackiness is just at an all-time high, so that's just to be expected. That's being normalized, bro. Being tacky has been heavily normalized here in Babylon. Okay, verse 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. And to be quite honest with you, when of course, the scriptures that you see before you that are highlighted, it just came to me. I did a lesson. Hey, guess what? Like I always say, and like the apostles, bishops, and elders always say, there's always going to be a repetition of the scriptures. We just don't read one scripture and never go back to it. No, it's a reference point. This is what qualifies what we say, and we're not speaking from our heart. Okay, and not the organ, but la'ab. Okay, so what they say is your heart is actually your mind. Okay, so not what we were falsely taught in this weak ass education system here. Okay, and the word for that in the Lashawan Kodash is la'ab. Okay, your heart, which is your mind. Okay, so let me reread that again. Verse 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Okay, so that and once again, just relaying back to that side note I just made, where this is intended to happen. Okay, this is inevitable. Okay, prophecy is inevitable. Okay, so we're just seeing that play out right before our eyes, man. I've been which other apostles, bishops, and elders can also relate. It's like, man, hey, it's a reason why we keep coming back to these scriptures. Of course they're a qualifier, but we see how things line up when prophecy is involved, man. Okay, even anything else that you try to think you're gonna throw the prophets off with a weak ass curveball. Hey, the scriptures are going to trump that, man. Okay, the scriptures are going to trump that. Verse 4. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that the day should overtake you as a thief. Now, of course, to a certain extent, people see this and they like, man, we're in, bad times, which, when you say, when evil, which evil means bad times are coming. And especially people could, you got some people acknowledging that. And then, but the worst part about it now is these other sects, are just going how they feel. Okay. They're going off, what's on their mind. What's on our mind is prophecy and getting the hell out of here and seeing things play out. It's not a game out here, man. Okay. And a lot of people, and really what they doing, they're really just watching videos of men who are sincere about this truth, or they've come across and they're putting two and two together like, man, this ain't looking good. Yeah, of course it's not looking good. It's not, it's going to be good for the Israelite if you're an Israelite. And to be frank, 1/3, okay, the elect, okay, that's what you want to be a part of. Of course, overall, you being an Israelite, you'll come back in the kingdom, in your right mind. But as far as these people sitting there playing and prophecy is popping off, nah, no sir. Verse 5. Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Okay. We're not, in the dark when it comes to what's going on, man. We're not going out of our way to fit into this in this society, man. Trying to remain, our desire, the Lord, keep us as children of the light and children of the day, and not of the night and nor of darkness. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be counted as a reprobate, man. Especially, the things that are to come and then the things that are here. Okay. Verse 6. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. Okay. So a lot of people are going to get caught off guard, man. With your continual BS and not paying attention what's going on. I'm tired, I'm tired of the news, this and that. Hey, I'd rather grow tired of watching the news than not being in the know. I know that much. This is I'm in Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 6. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. Okay, so folly is set in great dignity. So you have and to be also frank, on these other points, like, bro, we see what's going on. People act like the men who the Lord has waken up, and to do the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahshua is just out here as a hermit and what's the word? I want to make sure I got the right Salaki bear me Baba Kushah, the right terminology. It slips me on which let me see make sure. Introvert, yeah. You got people which that's not a bad characteristic. More so it's just like because a lot of times introverts are like to themselves, and which is perfectly fine and honestly a damn good idea in today's time. But more so I say that to like as if though we don't navigate in this society on a day-to-day basis is my point. Like bros see what's going on, bros work, bros are family men, bros have social media, bros have cars, bros catch public transportation, we go shopping, so we see all the BS out here that's that's here to distract you and so forth. But guess what? Those distractions are going to cause a lot of our people to get judged, man, because a lot of our people aren't paying attention to what's going on with the U.S. and Iran. You know, that isn't even talked about anymore. Now I'm thinking about it. You know, they get to talking, you know, a little bit, and bro, only people who's talking about it is the news. Now that the news isn't, you know, talking about which he purposely does, which you know, now that Carmelo Anthony, you know, the incident that happened in Frisco, you know, that's no more, you know. So it's just more folly, man. Let me reread this again. This is back in Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 6. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. Verse 7, I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. Okay, and those princes are talking about men of the Lord, the elect. Okay, and it's only going to continue to it's only going to continue to get worse, you know, according to prophecy, man, because a lot of people are becoming more and more docile, man, purposefully, you know. You know, some people are doing this on, you know, doing it on purpose. Like, yeah, I don't care what's going, you know, but they'll care when they can't tap their debit card, when they can't go to Starbucks and so forth, man. You know, when they can't do their daily routines, when you're not able to go to Planet Fitness and, you know, and so forth, and not able to go, you know, do your morning jog or walk your dog. We'll see. This is Isaiah chapter 33 verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Okay, so this is the only thing that really keeps us in check, you know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. And, you know, hope. We got hope we gonna be delivered out of here. We for damn sure believe that this place is done. The writing's on the wall, bro. The writing's on the wall. They're talking potential let me see. Bear with me, Baba Kushai. Bear with me, Baba Kushai. Yeah, so now they're saying it's a possible it could be a possible water shortage. It says Texas needs at least 174 billion to avoid water crisis. Okay, and this was stated like a few months ago, and then this came up, you know, again, you know, here and there, and also, you know, with social not social media, Salakia, with streaming, you know, if you you know, have a computer or, you know, a smart TV or your phone, I believe it's called Designated Survivor with what's that guy's name? He's playing the president on that show, and they did a few episodes like concerning like everything that's going on now, man. You know, that whole Hollywood thing, bro. That they basically showing you how everything, you know, is going to play out, or how they think it's going to play out. Which they be on point, because why? Because the Lord allows them to. The Most High is in control, man. Okay. So get it out your head that that this place will be restored, which it will not. Okay, and that show Designated Survivor, that's starring Kiefer Sutherland. You know, hell of an actor. He's an Edomite, hell of an actor. He's playing the president on that show. You know. Matter of fact, let me bring home that point of let me see. Bear me, Baba Kushad. This is Jeremiah chapter this is chapter 51. I'll start at verse 5. For Israel hath been Salakia, for Israel hath not been forsaken, nor Judah of his power of Yahweh of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. Verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of Yahweh's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Okay, so all these people thinking they're going to escape judgment. No. Okay, you got to spiritually, flee. Take your mind out of this place. Okay, take your mind out of this place, and this isn't a time nor a place for complacency. Okay, I'll reread verse 6 again. It says, flee out of the midst. Okay, keep your eyes out the mix. Don't. Okay, if you think this place is going to be restored, you're sadly mistaken. And deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of Yahweh's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Verse 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Okay, now you do have the which the irony of that, FIFA, is actually being hosted in the States, right? In Dallas, Miami, Houston, and ATL. I believe. I'm not sure where the other games have been played, but hey, all the nations, what I'm saying, that's America, has a heavy influence. Okay, they have a heavy influence, and we know the heaviest of the influence is, let's be real, are Israelites. Okay, but the so-called freedoms you have here in America, basically just just to do whatever you want. You could be gluttonous as hell, be an adulterous piece of shit. Be be a part of the alphabet community. You could be anything in America. They tell you could be anything you want, but they never they never tell you to be righteous stuff. Oh, you could be anything. And see, that's where the confusion comes in with America, with Babylon the Great, aka Babylon the Great. Okay, that's where the confusion comes in. Oh, you could be anything, and unfortunately, that's true in the eyes of these people, man. Okay, but these nations, they we've seen them all around town. When we're on the highways and byways and just interacting, just looking at them. They're doing social media viral clips. People eating big ass plates of barbecue and so forth. But that the way that America's set up, those other countries are gonna have something to talk about when they go back, to their place. Even though they're far from perfect. Okay, they far from perfect. They got BS going on over there too. But why? Because of the influence that America has had and the pacts that these countries have made with the U.S. that BS has gotten into their communities and way of living as well. Okay, verse 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so be she may be healed. Okay, but we know that's not the case. The iniquity, the blood, the filthiness of America, no sir. There's no restoring this place, man. This place is not going to be restored. No time. Okay? You can get that idea out your head. Verse 9. We should have Salakia. Verse 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Okay? She is not healed. She's sick. She's sick as hell. Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country. Okay? And guess what? When people, now I will say this, these other nations, what do when they see things are going? Bro, they get their bread up and they get the hell out of Dodge because they see how everything is going. And it's interesting because Trump has he's been going so hard on this on the citizenship. He's been pressing very hard, pressing extra hard, bro. They ain't worried about the inflation coming down. These niggas is not worried about gas coming down, groceries coming down, because it's a bigger it is something bigger that they got their eyes on, and the eyes is their eyes is on the weak, and their eyes is on those who want to buck up. He's gonna have something for that, because the school, like I mentioned, like we always mention, that the squeeze is coming, and you can feel the squeeze, man. You can feel the squeeze. People are crashing out. Okay, let me reread this in its entirety and correctly. This is back in Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. Okay, everybody, all these nations know Babylon, okay, aka America, is finito, man. It's that there's no more luster here. It's just lackluster, bro. Yeah, there's no enjoyment. Food goes bad damn near like in 2 days. Everything is, this is death. America represents death, man. There's no life here. Only life here is Yahweh Bashem Yahshua through the scriptures, man. That's the only lifeline we have here. Everything else is just filth, man. Everything is gum here. Okay? It's really just gum under the shoe. Trash. Okay? But that's all I have on this, man. And Abba Ratazah, this is edifying for the body. So once again, with that, call halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Waharaka Kodash Brakathum. Once again, I'd like to give double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and salutations to the select number of Akyam who pushed his truth and sincerity in four corners of the round earth, and salutations to the select number of Aquat that they're listening. Shalom.